Hi guys, my name is Nathan Simmons. I'm with Colonial Life out of Longview, and we're going to be setting you guys up with some supplemental benefits on Thursday. For those of you who don't know what supplemental benefits are, basically what we do is we're going to protect you guys. If something were to happen to you or your family, we put money back in your pocket. It doesn't go to the doctor, it doesn't go to the hospital, it goes directly to you, and you use the money however you need to. Okay, now before I get started, I want you guys to make sure that you thank Tricia for helping set this up. She went through a lot of work to make sure that everything was coordinated, so make sure you thank her for everything that she does. All right, now I know you guys all have your own health insurance, but that's exactly why we're coming out. Just last year, the leading cause of bankruptcy in America was due to medical bills. And what's crazy is of those people, 82% had health insurance, which tells me one thing: health insurance is not the end all be all. Okay, well, that's exactly why we do what we do, is because health insurance is like a block of Swiss cheese. There's a ton of holes in it, okay, and we're going to help you fill those holes. Okay, now let's say you have great health insurance. Something happens to you or your family, and you don't owe anything to the doctor or the hospital. That's fantastic. But let's say you're sitting at the house for 1-2 months. Would you all agree that 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck? Absolutely. So that's the first thing we're going to show you how to do, is protect the very thing that you get up in the morning to go to work for. Okay. We're going to show you how to do that through short-term disability. All right. Now that's something that a lot of people don't realize that you can do. We're going to show you how you can protect your income at less than an hour's wage a week. Okay. Now I know myself. I've got insurance on everything. It feels like, from my car to my house to TV to everything else. But for you homeowners, we're required to have homeowners insurance, right? Well, the chances of something ever happening to your house is actually less than 1%. But the chances of you being out of work, whether it's due to an accident, an illness, or even having to take maternity leave, is actually 1 in 3. And we're going to show you how you can protect your paycheck at less than an hour's wage a week. Okay. I normally put it like this. If you have a toaster at your house that pops up $2,000 every month, would you insure the toaster? Absolutely. You're going to be able to do the same thing with a paycheck. All right. Now, the other thing you're going to be able to look at is survivor benefits through life insurance. Over half the people that I visit with tell me they don't have anything, or the ones that do tell me they don't feel like they've got enough to sustain their family's lives for 2 or 3 months after passing, much less being able to put somebody in the ground. Okay, and the main reason why I hear people don't have any life insurance is because they don't know where to get it, which that blows my mind, because it feels like it's every other TV commercial. All right, well, that's where we come in. Okay, because you might have a CEO at some company, that wants $1 million life insurance policy. There's a lot of agents going to seek out that person. Not too many people seeking out an individual that's looking just for $20,000 to $25,000 to set aside for burial expenses. Okay, so let me recommend 2 things to you guys. If you care about your family at all, look at protecting your paycheck with short-term disability, and look at a minimum of $20,000 to $25,000 of life insurance if you're not already currently doing it, because one of those 2 things is going to happen. Okay. Now, as far as everything else goes, that's where the holes of health insurance come into play. I normally talk about the big 3: cancer, heart attack, and stroke. Cancer means a lot to me because my wife's had a scare. And guys, the minimum cost of cancer today is about $25,000, and that's if you have unbelievable health insurance. Because what most people don't realize is that 2/3 of cancer-related costs is not covered by health insurance, which is really alarming, because 1 in every 2 men are diagnosed and 1 in every 3 women are diagnosed. I'd venture to say you all watching this video probably all know somebody who's either currently going through that or who's been through it recently. So I don't have to tell you how not only emotionally draining it is, but financially draining it can be. Okay. Another thing to think about as well, when my wife had her scare, we live here in Longview. We'd actually looked at going to MD Anderson down in Houston. Okay. Travel, meals, lodging, those are all things health insurance does not pick up. Okay. Well, but a cancer policy does. Okay. Because you can go from a 2-income family to a no-income family at the drop of a hat. Okay. So again, something to think about, because you can protect your family at less than an hour's wage a week with that. All right. Now, as far as heart attack and stroke go, that's going to be more family history related. But those costs can range anywhere from $20,000 to $35,000 out of pocket. The problem is that those costs don't really occur until after you get released from the hospital. Well, give you a prime example. The way our critical illness policy works with that is it's kind of a lump sum benefit. All right. We actually had I had a coworker of mine about 2.5 years ago. His father had a heart attack, and he was in the hospital for 6 days, which is pretty lengthy. But once he was finally released, he was out of work for 2.5 months. Okay, well, thankfully he had a critical illness policy with us that as soon as he had his heart attack and he was released, we wrote him a check for $15,000, and he was able to use that money to make ends meet for his family. Because that's one thing we want to make sure that you guys realize is that you can negotiate with hospitals. You can pay them $5 a week and they can't do anything to you. But if you're sitting at the house and you can't make a car payment or a house payment or anything like that, that's where we come in, okay? Because if you're not making those payments in full, it's not going to be there too much longer, all right? So again, something to think about there if you have some family history with that, okay? And then you're also going to be able to look at an accident policy. I recommend looking at that, especially if you have kids that are active and play sports. For those of you that are out on the road a lot, might not be a bad idea to think about as well, okay? Because you'd be surprised how often you'd use it, all right? We actually had a guy about 1.5 years ago at the blind place, Tyler, was up on a ladder putting on some blinds, fell off a ladder and injured a vertebrae in his neck. He was out of work for about 1.5 months, and his accident policy paid him $9,000 over the course of the first 3 weeks. And again, he was able to make ends meet with that pool of money until he was able to go back to work, okay? And then lastly, you're going to be able to look at a policy that's specifically designed to offset a medical deductible for those of you that have health insurance. So if that's a worry for you year in and year out, might be something to look at as well. All right. So now Wes, Lawrence, and I are going to be giving out some packets to you guys to make sure that you have some sample rate sheets in it as well. It's going to allow you the opportunity to take that home and discuss it with your families. All right. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to contact us prior to. But we're going to be seeing you guys on Thursday to start sitting down with you one-on-one. All right. Now, one thing that you are all going to get, or actually two things, you're all going to get a free $5,000 AD&D policy, and you're also all going to get a wellness card. Okay. A wellness card is just something we're doing as a thank you to y'all just for taking the time out of your day to sit down with us. The card's very neat. It kind of works like a prescription card. You can use it on doctor's visits, prescriptions, dental and vision, hearing. You can even use it on MRIs, x-rays, imaging, things like that. All right. You can even use it on discounts on movie tickets and hotel reservations. All right. So it's actually a really, really neat card. We had a lady about 1.5 years ago that had cancer. And this was just a God thing that we were enrolling their company, and there was a lady that was in remission. She was, at that point, she was spending $1,200 a month on this cancer medication. Well, she was able to get the medication down to $275 using the wellness card. All right, so something to look into. You may not use the wellness card. If you don't think you will, give it to somebody. Give it to a friend, give it to a family member, because it's one card for the whole family, and there's not a name attached to it. You can give it to somebody that you think might use it. All right, so again, you will be getting those two things as well on Thursday. All right, so we're going to be getting those packets out to you. Again, thank Tricia for everything that she does, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to contact us, and we will see you Thursday. Thank you.